guys, and welcome to the Charlton vs Sunderland match review. Now, Sunderland did draw 0-0 yesterday at the Valley in what was a very, very, very frustrating game. Now, that is a word that so many have used, frustrated online and YouTube, everywhere, social media. Frustrated is the absolute key word. Now, of course, I couldn't do the review straight after the game because I was working. And I'm probably thankful for that because after the game, I won't lie, for the first sort of half an hour after that game, I was livid. I was livid and I was exactly that word. I was very, very frustrated. And I think if I made a review straight after that, I would have probably let my emotions get the best of me. And for those of you who watch the channel quite a lot, you'll know that that's something I do struggle with. You know, particularly when I'm making a match review after a game, be it a win, loss or draw, my emotions ride heaviest in terms of taking over a review. But I think because I've had a little bit of time to sit on it should I say, particularly after a good couple of hours after the game, hindsight did kick in. Now, what I mean by this is that the result, and looking at the result in isolation, it's a poor result. You can't get away from that. You know, against Charlton side, you know, of course, yeah, they're our bogey team or whatever, but they're a side in which, if you look at the table on paper, which I know again means nothing, we should be beaten. They've lost the previous 5 games. We should be beating them. But if you look at it as an isolated performance, it was hands down the best performance I've seen in weeks, maybe even a couple of months. We just didn't get the just rewards. It was as simple as that. So the level of performance that we gave yesterday against Charlton was, you know, if we play and perform at that level for the remainder of the season, every game, and do not let that performance, that standard of performance slip until the remainder of the season, then I will say it now that I'm very, very confident of us getting a comfortable place within the playoffs. 100%. 100%, but we cannot let that standard slip. And what I mean by that is that we were so unbelievably dominant. You know, we didn't let Charlton get a sniff for the most part. We controlled the play. We made the chances. We looked dangerous every time we go forward. We just didn't quite get the rub of the green and we weren't clinical enough. That's it. And you get those games because on another day, we would have won that game 3 or 4-0. That is a 3-4-0 win Sunderland game to us. Do you know what I mean? Had little things gone our way, you know, little refereeing decisions here and there which were annoying, but I'm not going to go down to that. There were some horrendous refereeing decisions that just didn't go in our favour, but again, not going to get into it. But, like I say, on another day, we win that game 3-4-0. And that's the positive thing for me, because even though we beat Wigan 3-0 last weekend, the weekend prior, this was a better performance. A different performance that had to be had, of course, against Wigan, because they're a different calibre of side at the moment. But this was a much better performance, much more well-rounded performance. And what we can take from it, you know, instead of just looking at it as simply as, it's a 0-0 draw against a side that we should have arguably beaten, given the performance and the level that they're at the moment, Charlton, or the level of the standards they've been playing at. Look at it as it's a second clean sheet in a row, something we haven't seen for a hell of a long time. We look so much more comfortable at the back. We're not giving away as many chances at the back. And we're looking a lot more solid. So let's look at that as a positive. Going forward, we look so much more threatening without, of course, having that sort of that clinical edge yesterday. But in the middle, we're dominating. We are dominating, which is, again, is something we don't often see. Possession-wise, yes, generally we do have heavier possession than teams that we do come up against. But how many times have we seen it when in the middle of the park we've been so unbelievably soft? And at times, and I won't lie to you, as much as I love Matete, and I think he's been a stand-up performer for weeks now, since we signed him, really, I actually think he wasn't that good yesterday. Yes, his pressing was fantastic, but in possession, I don't actually think he was that good. He gave the ball away a little bit too cheaply yesterday. Other times where he almost didn't look as sharp as in recent weeks, you know, where if he should just give a simple pass, you know, the easy pass was on, he'd try and turn back straight into danger and lose the ball. And he did that a handful of times, you know. He can't escape from criticism because he's been fantastic. He'd still give a 6, 7 out of 10 performance, but he just wasn't at the level that he has been in recent weeks, if that makes sense. But yeah, so there are positives to take. So I didn't want to make this review purely negative, me gobbing off and just saying how shit it is that we drew 0-0 in a game that we should have battered them, in all honesty, because we should have battered them. We should have done. But getting into the game, the lineup, we had Pato in goal again. Sirkin, Jamali started again, which was good to see. Jamali and Bailey Wright in the middle of that back four, Winchester as right back. In the middle, we had Matete and Evans, and then we had Pritchard on one side, Gooch on the other, and then we had the return of Broadhead. who started as well up top alongside Stewart, which I just didn't expect at all. I was absolutely buzzing when I saw Broadhead, and he looked very dangerous. Of course, he's not 100% sharp at the moment. He needs a little bit of time, even though that's not quite on his side or on our side, should I say. But he looked so dangerous. He's so direct. There was so many times, from the off, he's just driving at them one-on-one, maybe a little bit too late to, pull the trigger and what have you, but that comes with, match sharpness, and I think that'll come back like that. I do. I think it'll come back quick enough, but he just looks so dangerous. Him and Stewart linking up as well. The opening half an hour of the game was absolutely fantastic. The press, we were pushing them and forcing them into so many mistakes at the back, and that does come from a press. Of course, it helps when Charlton, they looked a bit dodgy at the back anyway, but the press was fantastic. We're right in the face again with the likes of Matete, and we need to give it to him. We don't leave him alone. Harry and them, you've got Broadhead and Stewart forcing from the front. Pritchard and Gooch on the wings doing the exact same thing, and then force them to turn back, then make errors and just playing it straight out for a corner when they're trying to pass it back to the keeper, that kind of thing. But in terms of us actually on the ball as well, the triangles, the movement, the simple movement off the ball was there, and it was fantastic to see. There was players off the ball who were they so badly wanted the ball back, and that sounds simple, but it's something that we haven't had. The simplistics and the basics we haven't had down for weeks. Do you know what I mean? If once someone gives the simple give and go, you teach that kids give and go, but we haven't had those basics down. We've had players that give the ball and then just hope that the opposition, the player they give it to, they immediately hand those responsibilities to them, and they don't want to take any responsibility back. Give it and then just like, I hope they do well. Do you know what I mean? Everyone wanted the ball. That's what I'm trying to say. There was this urgency and everyone wanted the ball. Everyone wanted to be a part of the play and they were desperate to get involved, which I love to see. Little triangles here and there, making chance after chance after chance. Don't get me wrong, it weren't like one-on-one with the keeper chances like time and time again. Of course not. But there was just so many nice little worked moves, and then balls are coming to the box. Quality balls, mind you, from like Lyndon Gooch that again you don't often see. 2 or 3 crosses that he put into the box for Ross Stewart was absolutely fantastic. A couple of them, Ross Stewart should have had a hat-trick in that first half. Balls was a set piece from Pritchard on the corner. It came to Ross Stewart. He rose above the rest around the penalty spot and he's glanced it wide. One from Gooch when he put a peach of a ball curling in behind. It found Stewart again and he's knocked it wide. It should have been 2 or 3-0 come half time. I think Charlton's first opportunity came from a set piece themselves. They took the corner short and worked it into the box. And it comes to their striker, the big lad, number 9. And he got the head on it, and arguably probably was one of the better chances of the first half, and he's glanced it wide. Stockley, who we knew was of course going to be a thorn in our side anyway, but for large parts Bailey Wright and Jamali did deal with him quite well. But yeah, first half, it's 0-0 at half time, and how it was I do not know. Second half it was more of the same, but we started to make more clear-cut chances. Pritchard, it was so sad. It looks like he's rolled his ankle. It could potentially be long term, and he had to come off, which was absolutely gutting. It really was absolutely gutting that he had to come off, because he's been absolutely excellent. He's a little terrier as well in the final third, not just his creative side, his goal scoring side. But he has so much to offer, that lad, and he's really coming to his own. And it's I just hope it is only maybe a week or two. But apparently Alex Neil said it doesn't look great, so we'll have to see where that goes. But he did have to come off. Embleton come on as well. Clark come on in the latter stages. But we managed to squeeze Stewart in one-on-one with the keeper, a bit more to the right, but he's driven it straight at his legs. Another chance as well. Clark, when he come on, that lad, he needs to start. I know, like I say, we played well yesterday. We played excellently, best performance in a while, as I keep on saying. But Clark, something else I keep on saying, he has to start. He looks so unbelievably good. I get the tactic of bringing on Clark because he has the energy, that amazing acceleration and burst of pace. To bring on, with 20 odd minutes left when teams are tired, particularly that Charlton defence, they don't have too much pace. There's a lot of experienced heads in there that don't have too much pace. But Clark come on, there was one chance where he took on his man in the middle, then he's driving at the right back, who had no pace at all. I'm just thinking, take him again, but then he was a little bit indecisive and he's gone for the pass, and it was a poor pass. But then Clark had come on again, took on one, took on two. He does it so easily, he glides past players, but when he gets to that byline, I feel like that's where he just needs to tweak the improvement a bit, because he got to the byline and got 2 or 3 times within the space of 6-7 minutes. He was absolutely eating him up down his side, absolutely battering him, terrorising him. He does that he does to drag the roll over the ball. That's how he keeps it under control. Then just quick burst of pace and shifts it past his man. You can't deal with that when the acceleration is that high. The quick burst of pace on the turn is that high. A defender just cannot deal with that. You cannot deal with the rawness of Clark. So he gets it to the byline, but like I say, his final product, he kind of does the same cross every time. When I say the same cross, I mean he absolutely batters it at the first man in the box every single time, rather than kind of maybe getting a glance up. And I get it, you know, just if you batter it in the box hard and low, it could go anywhere. So I do understand that. But he did that. He tried that same sort of technique and tactic time and time again. I think maybe if he just kind of dinked it maybe to the back post or just floated it in, we might have seen a better return from that. But he's so dangerous, you know. I'm not digging at him, of course, but still, that's just the kind of assessment I came to. But yeah, I think there was one chance right towards the latter stage of the game. Not too sure whether Stockley was actually giving it offside or not. But the ping run over the top, and you know, the more dominant we get, and it's only natural, the further our backline pushes forward, because we were very, very dominant. But they played a sort of diagonal ball last moment of the game, 5 minutes were added on. Stockley finds himself completely free in the right side of the box. And at that time, our defence was a little bit of a mess. We let too many people push over to the back post with no one marking as well. And there was Stockley, free as anything. He probably could have taken a touch and then gone for it. But he tried to go for the volley, made an absolute mess of it and dragged it miles wide. But that was it, and it finished... It finished 0-0. You know, Sirkin had a chance as well that was cleared off the line. It could have easily been a 3-4, 5-0 game towards that. But as I say, I'm going to try and remain positive. On the surface, a 0-0 result against Charlton, it isn't good enough. It isn't good enough. But let's take the positives. We've got 2 clean sheets on the bounce from 2 decent sides. Or at least Charlton should be better than where they are. But yeah, we've got 2 clean sheets. We haven't lost. You know, that's 4 points from a possible 6. If we win the next couple of games and this point doesn't look anywhere near as bad, you know, we've got Fleetwood and Crewe, teams we definitely should be beating. You need to be a little bit, you know, what's the word? Almost a bit arrogant in these kind of games. When you know, it's coming to the sort of the tight end of the season, you need to have this sort of arrogant, confident side to you now, where you just need to run over teams that you're supposed to. None of this, let's show a bit too much respect. Just go for it. Just go for it. Like against Charlton, we didn't show too much respect. We're just going for it. That's what we're doing time and time again. And with a little bit of luck, like I say, we should have beat Charlton 3-4-0. But if with a little bit more luck, we will absolutely roll over Fleetwood and Crewe as well in the next couple of games if we maintain the same level of performance that we did against Charlton. So yeah, I'm taking positives from that game. 0-0. Result is crap. The performance was great. Can we just keep it going, please, lads? Into Fleetwood and just absolutely batter them, get the 3 points, keep the fans smiling. But that's it, guys. What do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know in the comments down below. But if you have enjoyed, hit the like button for me. It's always massively appreciated. And subscribe if you're not already to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, you take care. Stay jamming.